So, good morning or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rania Mikayla and I'm from SMA Laboratorium Unsyiah Bandace. Today, I am going to talk about women empowerment. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the definition of women empowerment. According to Wikipedia, women empowerment may be defined in several ways, including accepting women's viewpoints or making an effort to seek them, raising the status of women through education, awareness, literacy, and training. So basically, women empowerment is an act of respecting women's rights and believing in gender equality and feminism. Now, let's take a look at society's viewpoint towards women right now. In some countries, such as Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, the countries are rather very uplifting towards women empowerment. Now, the issue is, in most countries, women's rights aren't exactly respected. What I mean by this is the fact that society has made it significantly harder for women to do activities in any sorts. Women all over the globe are suffering over being overworked, the nurturing of a child, the lack of power, the extremely creepy stares, and unwanted attention, less paying jobs that has everything to do with just being a female. The list goes on. According to the United Nations Population Fund, more than 40 years ago, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights asserted that everyone has the right to education. The government's meeting in the World Conference on Education for All in Junction, Thailand, committed themselves to the goal of basic education. But despite notable efforts from countries all around the globe, there are approximately 960 million illiterate adults, of whom 2/3 are women. More than 1/3 of the adults, most of them women, have no access to printed knowledge or to skills and technologies that would help improve the quality of their lives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to a question that why does women empowerment matter? Well, women empowerment could highly affect the country's productivity. You see, if a woman has access to education such as a man and have equal rights as to a man, then women could unlock their potential skills, learn and realize their skills, thus increasing the country's productivity and making a big change towards the country's development. Now, the younger generations are affected by this issue as well. With looking at the adults, such as their parents, teachers, or others, setting them all an example, teaching them, consciously or not, through education or towards their words, to people or to them themselves. Now, they would follow their adult guides and realize the oppression and unfairness women face. According to the National Park Service, the 1848 Sanessa Falls Women's Rights Convention motivated the beginning of the women's rights movement in the United States. The women's rights movement grew into a cohesive network of individuals who were committed to changing the society. After the Civil War, national women's suffrage organizations were formed. Ever since, countries have made a lot of programs to support women empowerment. Now, I will be mentioning a few. The first I will be mentioning is the VAV, or Voices Against Violence Consortium, which is the Gender-Based Violence Initiative. The VAV provides emergency assistance, including medical and livelihood, and legal services towards the worst forms of gender-based violence. And the second program I will be mentioning in today is the Women Entrepreneur Finance Initiative, or WEFI. The U.S. is committed to increasing women's economic empowerment through investments, financing, and global economic partnership. Now, ladies and gentlemen, education is one of the most important aspects in women empowerment. what we could do as students to contribute towards promoting women empowerment is to educate the younger generation, especially people in our own generations, which is the fellow students. We could do this by proposing a school campaign about women empowerment. My fellow students, we will be the next generation of our country, and for the country to develop in such a positive way, we must take part in solving this big issue. We could teach them by showing them pictures or videos regarding to women's oppression, get them to understand gender-based violence, and get them to understand gender equality and feminism. Ladies and gentlemen, by having a school campaign about empowering women, we could expect to see a lot of changes in students' mindset. That is all from me. Thank you very much. I rest my case.